Hey guys, it's Richard from Grafting Dragonfruits, and today I'm going to be talking about some dragonfruit terminology that we use in the dragonfruit community. So here is my Vietnam white. It had a flower bloom last night, so this is going to be a perfect example for me to show and explain to you guys what is self-fertile, what is self-pollinating, and what is cross-pollinating, and what is self-sterile. So let's start with self-pollinating and self-fertile. So self-pollinating means that it will pollinate itself. So if you check out all the antlers there, you see how close it is to the stigma? So these antlers, they will self-pollinate the stigma. So that means you don't have to do any work for it to set fruit. A lot of the times the stigma will be so far away from these antlers that they will never touch each other. And that's where you're gonna have to come in and do some hand pollinating. So that is self-pollinating. So self-pollinating is when the antlers touch the stigma, and this helps it pollinate itself, and that is why it's called self-pollinating. So self-fertile, let's go to self-fertile. So Vietnam white is self-fertile to itself. So what that means is the pollen that we have here is fertile to the stigma, meaning that it accepts the pollen and it is viable for it to set into a fruit, and that is self-fertile. If you have a self-sterile, so self-sterile is if the flower produces pollen and you use its pollen, you pollinate the stigma, and then the flower, sometimes it turns yellow and they just fall right off. So that is why a lot of you guys are asking me, Richard, how come I'm pollinating my dragon fruits, but my flowers are still turning yellow and falling off? I thought I did everything right. So that just means that your dragon fruit variety is self-sterile. So that means the pollen that it usually produces is not going to work for your stigma. So that is not going to be accepted. And that is why your dragon fruit flowers turn yellow and they fall off. So that is why when you have a self-sterile variety, we're going to talk about cross-pollinating now. So what you're going to do is if you have a variety that is not accepting its own pollen, you can get pollen from other varieties, like any of these that I have here. So I would select any of these varieties that I have that have been blooming. I'll take their pollen and then I'll pollinate the variety that is self-sterile, and that's going to help them set into fruit. So that's a little tip right there for you guys on self-pollinating, self-fertile, why we cross-pollinate, and what it means to have self-sterile flowers.